Yo, what is up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Oh man. So, a lot has happened. And instead of coming out with, daily videos, because pretty much every day that I was like recording and then I would try to come out with a video, like more stuff would happen and I would be like, okay, I wish I talked about it, or this is, important and it, involves what I talked about previously, so maybe I should just redo the video or wait a bit. And I just thought, okay, instead of having a bunch of videos that are like 15, 20 minutes, whatever, how much time, I'll just have like one 30-minute video Sunday, recapping everything that had happened pretty much the last time I made the last video. And even though it was just talking about Night Rain, like what happened with Asmund Gold, Hassan, the whole left versus right thing, like it just escalated to almost an insane degree. And I remember making a video about it, like commenting on it, and I was just like laughing about it, even though like the circumstances surrounding it are obviously not funny. Like someone losing their life, or like someone like going insane and like attacking people randomly, or just like the uncomfortable question about what do we do with like incels and stuff when the inevitability is that they're just going to attack women. So I'm glad I kind of, took a step back and had another shot at making this video because like I don't have like a very good opinion about like people who do things like this. So to have like a more grounded and stable opinion rather than just like calling cuss words and saying like bad things should happen to them, and like it doesn't really illustrate just what the problem is. It's more like, okay, this is how I feel about it, right? So what happened was this whole thing with Hassan versus Asmongold has reached new heights where, okay, Hassan's gonna say dumb things about Asmongold, and something about, and this is the weird thing because it's like when I heard this, I immediately disregarded it, and I know as like people who are watching my video, like why would I listen to you then if you're not gonna like pay attention? It's just like, okay, well think about it, like, okay, I didn't even know that his mom passed away, and then he's saying something about Asman and his mom passing away or something like that. It's just like he's doing all these like low-handed tactics against Asmongold, and it's just like, yeah, of course I'm gonna disregard it. Like, what kind of a man is he? Like, he's stunted. He has like a weird like growth in his body where his head and his feet are extremely small for the proportions of the rest of his body, like a form of dwarfism or something like that. And then to top it all off, he like has obviously a temper issue, right? And the reason why I'm bringing up Hassan again is like, okay, so this guy, this is like the third time I'm saying this, so it's like, okay, obviously it's the first time I'm recording it and saying it, but it's just like every single time I say it to myself, it just sounds more and more ridiculous and silly. Like, if it didn't actually happen, like me saying it would be like, yo, you're just making this up for the sake of like, yeah, you just want to like make news because of how sensationalized it is. It's like ridiculous sounding. So Hassan, he goes on this show, or like his own show. I don't know. I don't care. And he's like, it's Pride Month, and he's with his like Pride boys, and I think one girl. And they're discussing, and this is what the question was, but like this is how what Hassan interpreted it as, is interpreted as he interpreted in the past. He previously interpreted this question. It's like, so the guy, the host, this guy who's like, and they have the gay flag with the triangle in the middle, so it kind of looks like a wannabe Guyana flag. And then it's like, with all the like the squiggly like lines of like colors representing like everything. And it's just like so there's so many, so it's everything, I guess. So he asks, "Yo, what's your favorite flag, Hassan?" And Hassan, you know what my favorite flag is? Because it's like an open-ended question, so I could say any flag ever. I'm 45 years old. Hezbollah. Oh my god. Oh my god. So it's Pride Month, and of all the places you chose to put your to take your pants off and put your dick on the table, of all the places you chose to do that, it's in front of these gay guys and that one possibly gay girl. I don't know, and it's just like you obviously know what kind of question they're asking you what kind of gay favorite gay flag of the gays. You say that's oh my god! Of all the places, like, okay, hear me out. If you were around with your homies sipping beer and no, not sipping. Oh yeah, you probably sip beer. You fucking queer. Sipping your beer with your mustache. It's like, I love it when I sip the beer on my mustache. I just lick my lips like LL, and I. So no, so like if without the context you were just like drinking beer with your boys and just like talking about soccer flags or just like country flags in general, right? So what's your favorite flag? What's your favorite jersey? That type of shit, right? Then yeah, that would make sense, right? Okay, cool. But in any other context, like what are you doing? You're taking your dick out, you're putting it on the table because your dick is very small, and it's just like the only place you can do that and they won't call you like what the fuck are you doing type of shit is during Pride Month and with these like LTG LTGT L LTT LTG. Speaking of LTG, yo, shout out to LTG dog. Okay, watching this guy. Okay, I need to sip because it's like pardon me. So watching LTG play Mortal Kombat, at least like the newest iteration. What is that like? Combat. Whatever. Anyways, um, is brain damaging because they have that like assist feature, and every single time the assist comes on, right? And assist is like a big part of this game now. It makes this like dinging noise, and it's really fucking like annoying. It's like I'm hearing it, and I'm like, wow, you have to hear this noise probably like 3 to 4 to 5 times every single match when you're fighting this thing. Ding! Your assist is ready. Oh my god! And it's just like watching him like do spam attacks and like constantly get comboed and stuff, and like try to like space his opponent and like throw out his assist every single chance he gets. I think his assist is like one of those things that like specifically breaks him out of like getting comboed and stuff. So that's why he picks it. So he's always using that assist. So like yeah. Um, what was I gonna say again? So oh yeah. So he plays this like Mortal Kombat game, right? And it's just a chore to watch. He likes to play this character called Raiko, and he can throw out like these ninja stars, and that's what he does. He goes on one side, or he picks out Sector, and it's just like this cybernetic girl, and she like shoots missiles or like something like that. And it's just like really fucking no, yeah, she shoots missiles, and like some of them like spin around, and then they shoot you out of the air, they shoot you like out of the ground, and that's all he does. And then when he loses, he will rage quit. Like yeah, that's it. No, the best he was like if someone's beating him, he'll just take his screen off so he would not watch that person like do the combo or whatever. So like his stream would just be like him positively like beating on whoever and stuff, and that's his good games and stuff, right? And I have to bring this up because like this is like the mentality and the atmosphere of this guy in his streams and like what he's about and stuff, right? So then I know going off topic with like the Hassan and the LGBTs and LTGs and all that shit, right? But hear me out. This is how hilarious this is, right? because Hassan and LTG are pretty much in the same, boat in this shit, right? They're both in like a huge, huge ass like level of denial, right? So, I think LTG knows, and he's just like playing up for like his whole character and shit. Like he knows, like, dude, you're leaving your matches, you know, like when you're losing, especially. Of course they're gonna ban you. Of course they are. So this guy, he goes online to Mortal Kombat as he does, right, to do his usual thing, and then your account has been banned. And I'm like, yo, see what I mean, man? This kind of bullshit, right? And like, I also bring it up because I've been playing Night Rain, and I think I had to do that twice. Once because, to be fair, I was just frustrated, so I just did it once, and it told me, yeah, if you do this, you're gonna get a penalty, and then it just like put me right back in the same game at the same level that I was with the other two people, and I just had to play it. Like it was just like, yeah, you made your bed, now sleep in it, right? Type of thing when you like start these games with randoms. But and the other time was, just I had to go, I had to turn off my console, I had to go for an appointment, right? But like if you play a game like Night Rain, you're unless you're the one leaving, right? Like you're not gonna get penalized. So and like your teammates can't really troll you per se. Like they can take weapons from you. Like if they're around you and stuff, that's happened to me online. It's like whatever. It's like you play online games, like, people are gonna see things and they're just gonna pick it up. You just have to be fast like that. But like you play these fighting games and people are just coming straight after this guy, straight after LTG. They have like the voice chat on. They're like, talking to him, telling him not to touch kids, telling him all this stuff, punking him, calling him out, calling him by his name, all that stuff. And like, yo, dude, if you just play games like Armored Core, if you just play games like, okay, to be honest, I did cuss out a bunch of people, like not even just like a few people, I just cussed out a bunch of people on Armored Core. I trash talk a lot on Armored Core, but like, yo, that's the atmosphere of the game, like, you know what I mean, like, and it'll like give you a better perspective because it's like, can you imagine you just like cutting your teeth on all these like basically 2D fighting games and stuff, like Tekken being like probably the least restrictive, and I'd say maybe a little bit of Virtual Fighter, but Virtual Fighter like it's in its own category of like games, right? Like you either know how to play those games or you don't, and like for me, it's like playing Virtual Fighter is like a learned experience, right? But if you play games like Armor Core, Elden Ring, Night Rain, maybe some of the older. I don't see him getting into the older Dark Souls games because it's like I wouldn't say because it's so single player experience, but because it's like it's so time wasting and like for him to be doing a decent amount of damage or whatever, he's gonna have to put in like 2 3 hours and then like learn the mechanics and like yeah, I could see how him playing the older games can be a chore, but like he just puts himself in this situation to get like first of all stalked out and harassed in these online games, and then second of all, right, he's playing these fighting games like they're high octane stressful. They're not like you know very how should I put it, positive atmosphere for you to dwell in. And so yeah, I had to go off topic and just talk about it because it's like him, DSV especially because he got the Switch too, and yo, it's kind of funny how I'm talking about him and I'm talking about Asmongold, and yeah, of course, I'm nobody special, right? But it's like I find it funny how coincidentally, like I'm talking about Darkside Phil and Asmongold, and then Asmongold watches This Is How You Don't Play Mario Kart for the Switch number 2, and it's like I watched it and it's hilarious to say the least. Like if Darkside Phil is playing a character online, like a comical character, like whatever this like I wouldn't call it comic relief. It's like it's probably a higher form of satire than most people are aware of. It's kind of like that. I guess you can call it Sam Hyde-esque type of comedy, where you don't know if he's being literal or if he's being like facetious, because it's like that in and of itself is probably the core essence of comedy that comedy I think has lost over the years, was people not being able to tell whether or not comedians were being serious about what they were talking about, right? Because they've been doing, comedy or whatever for so long that they've learned to, blank themselves, like to block themselves out from, people just being able to read them, being able to like predict what they're gonna say and stuff. So like if Dark Side Phil is that kind of dark, that high end level of like comedy, he's probably one of the most, greatest geniuses of our time, because like dude, the gameplay of him playing Mario Kart, holy fuck. I got okay. So this one time, right? I think most people who have played Mario games, especially when they were kids, would know that turtle shells, they like to bounce off of objects, right? Like they'll hit walls and they'll come right back, like a boomerang, right? If you will, it's like they bounce off the walls, right? They'll bounce off of objects, right? Like the only time that a turtle shell like goes away is if it hits, like I guess a hard enemy or something like that, or falls on spikes or something. I don't know. But it's like, so he shoots a turtle shell, and it's like he shoots it right in front of him, right? And it hits this like, I don't know, object. Like, I don't know. These games like have all these crazy things in them, and the turtle shell comes right back at him, and like it causes him to crash not only into the shell, but also into the object. And it's like, oh, what is this game? This game is so dumb. And like, and even Asmongold's pointing it out. It's like, yeah, dude, it was his own turtle shell. It was his own turtle, and he's laughing his ass off. And everybody's just like, like, can you imagine? You get to that age where you are an adult playing children's games, and you're not just playing children's games. You're terrible at it. Like, you're terrible at it. And that's fine if you're an actual, like, realistic adult who's like, maybe you did something else for a living, like, I don't know, you're a fisherman or a marine biologist, or like, I don't know, like some sort of like, just something like normal, like something that you weren't playing video games the entire time. But dude, he was. And that's what makes it so crazy. It's like, he got the Switch too, obviously, because he has that fan base of like children's teens, tweens. People want to see him play gameplay and stuff. He cheers them on. He's like, "Yeah, guys, you guys gotta donate to me. You guys gotta give me some money and stuff." Oh, by the way, this is the second half of the playthrough of Night Rain that I said I was gonna come out with. So there's my consistency, and I don't even stream. I just do this for fun. But yeah, like this is how you don't play. Um, Mario Kart has reached like new heightened levels of just like insulting, like just I would call it probably one of those things where I feel bad for just the word gamer existing, because it can mean like a very like a huge varied amount of things, and like Dark Side Phil would be one of those things, a guy who plays video games. He just happens to play them, and he calls himself a gamer, just like Hassan. Like, oh, and I didn't call him a gamer. CNN News called him a gamer. Him and his fucking crazy radical anti-Jewish takes, anti-American takes, and it was like this most likely Jewish reporter on CNN is just like calling out Hassan and his bullshit and calling him a gamer. He doesn't want to call him a political streamer or streamer, any of that fucking bullshit. No, he's just a fucking gamer. Dude's 45. And he's just like, yo, the thing that they call you, adults, they call you, dude. They call you a gamer, man, on fucking national news. And this is why Hassan is such a loser, because I made this 30 minutes just so I could, like, clarify, right? So there's this guy who went shirtless, and he's like, I don't know if he's Middle Eastern or whatever, like, his name is Mohammed or something like that, and he's 45 just like Hassan, and he's taking Molotov cocktails and tossing them at, like, these people, like, marching in solidarity. They're not like, this isn't like Israel Celebration Day or like, some sort of Independence Day, or if they even won a soccer game, which is just hilarious because I'll get into that one next. um, it's just people like wanting the hostages to be released. They want the end to the conflict, as they most likely would say. They don't necessarily care about, the state of Israel or two-state or solution or something. They either have family members who are, held prisoner, or they just want, peace. They want to end to the conflict. And they were assaulted by this man who threw Molotov cocktails at them. And like, sorry, I have to laugh because the guy went shirtless and he did it. He looks so fucking ugly, and the parallels between him and Hassan is hilarious. It's like, what would Hassan do if he didn't have like the money of his parents and shit? Like most likely that, right? And it's like people will be like, that's a little, that's pushing it a little too far, right? It's like, oh, come on, man. Like, look at all the claims that this guy is making, the way he talks, like, the way he acts and stuff, like bringing up the Hezbollah flag at like this, like, LGBT ABC 123 meeting. And he's putting his dick on the table, like, yo, my homosexual homies, check out my Hezbollah flag. And it's just like, what are you talking? So dumb. I like it leads into my next topic. So growing up, I played soccer. Unfortunately, I had, my brother was into it. My dad wanted to coach my team, so it was like a very integral part of my life. And I would notice it was like a magnet for like losers, like people with no lives and stuff that they, yeah, they just whatever. Like the closest parallel I could draw was when the Toronto Raptors won, and then in Toronto, like they were kind of getting out of hand. Like there were crowds of people going on top of like lights for some reason. Who knows? Because your basketball team won. But like, it's just like this stupid thing that like kids do to like belong in a world that just doesn't really acknowledge them, I guess. So wow, I used to get like, bent over like, girls rejecting me or like, just like normal shit. Like I didn't get the job, dude. Damn, my life sucked. It's like my basketball team lost. Damn, life is not going so great. And then like yeah, so we kind of had like it kind of got out of hand, but it wasn't too bad. But see what happened in Paris, dude. Oh goodness. What happened in Paris will probably go down in history as to why, you have companies like Electronic Arts selling like packages of soccer players to like kids for like hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars at this point. And it's like very greedy, or the like loot box or Star Wars, like they just disrespect your commercialism because it's so easily exploitable, so easily exploitable. Oh, your childhood memories. Oh, it hurts, it hurts. Oh, And then you see these like people going absolutely fucking crazy. Like they're taking garbage, they're lighting it on fire, they're throwing it in the streets, they're robbing stores, right? And I saw this video, and it was hard to watch. They're attacking this car with two younger ladies, girls in it, right? Like, old enough to drive, but like, I say they most likely don't own a house. I might be like, ignorant to that, but they're just like too young to me, right? Like they look like, someone's kid, even though like they're driving the car, basically, right? And the crowd of people are surrounding this car and smashing it and smashing the windows, and it's just psychotic. And they're guys and they're wearing masks, and it's just like the fucking incels, dude. You know, they they got nothing to do. You fucking and the hilarious part. Even Rehab Room spoke of this. Like he called them the oofy doofies. He called them. He did. He called them the Oofy Doofies. Oofy Doofy United. I remember that video in specificity because it's like, yeah, I played soccer before, and like I understand like what those types of people are. Like they take their fucking game way too seriously. They're fucking dumb. They don't have anything to do. They're like single brain celled. Like very group mentality type of people, and even to incels, like they are, the lowest of the low type of people, which is, and it's hysterical because these men are in the majority in France right now. Like there aren't enough cops going around to arrest them, to charge them, not enough people able to prosecute them or anything like of the like. It's very it's a very dire and bleak situation there in good old Perry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunate, the unfortunate reality of globalism, of like uncontrolled immigration, just the chaos of men who are held unaccountable for their actions and will inevitably create the downfall to their society. Like the masses of uneducated, man, they're just there to hurt people. Like obviously there's they're doing other things, like they're damaging vehicles, they're aforementioned like lighting garbage on fires, robbing stores. But I bring up this issue because like the video's there. It's like it's circulating, I think, on Twitter. I saw it on Asmund Gold's channel, and it links back to Hassan and his side of people, where they have to literally call themselves the right side of history, while simultaneously like this is occurring. They're waving the Palestinian flags. They are very much for the side of Hassan and like this chaos against the established governments that are in place. Like that's basically what it is. There isn't like a transference of control. It is supremacy, and they've lost their bid to it. As you can clearly see, like when you see the left, right, going to the great extents that they are, and you're seeing like the cops just being so lenient with them, the hypocrisy is woefully apparent. Like everybody sees it. Like if people on the right side, right, people who are for Trump, behave in half the way, half the manner that the left did, like not only will they make national news, obviously, but like the cops would like kick their heads in. They would like, yo, you can't do this stuff. Like this is highly illegal. You should know better. It's like, yeah, they do know better. That's why they don't break the law. But like they're called the wrong side of history, racist, white supremacist, anti-Semites for some reason. Anti-Semites, that's hilarious. Racist. You racist. Hassan, dude. It's like, yo, guarantee he probably got the Switch number too, as well. But see, this is why I had to be a 3-minute video, because there's no way I can talk about all this shit Oh, and like Night Rain, yeah, check out Night Rain again. And that's what I've been basically doing the past, like, weeks since I got it. Was just like playing this game nonstop, unlocking. It's called relics. I always call it gems because it's like you get them, and then there'll be like these different kinds of gems, like red, green, yellow, blue. And yeah, no, they're called relics, and then you unlock them, and they give your character different attributes and starting abilities, and etc. etc. It's a fun game. that's what that's why I've been more positive as of late, despite the unfortunate turn of events. And also, I also checked out Rehab Room's video. I noticed that he's going after Undead Chronic now. Oh man, it's hilarious. I mean, self improvement isn't such a bad thing. I think that you know, it's 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 why we play games. It's why we work out. And I think that it's a fun time. I like playing this game. I think everybody who plays it probably likes. Yeah, I didn't get. Did I get any talismans this run? I've been lacking. All right. Thanks for watching my 31-minute video, and happy Sunday, everybody. Take it easy, and stay safe.